Mom passed away. Her funeral is tomorrow, and I'd appreciate it if you were there. Oh, but I have a business trip. Wait, what are you talking about? You're my wife. You should attend it with me. What a pain in the... I'll give you the money for the funeral. Is $10 okay? I only have a $10 bill right now. I couldn't believe my wife would make a fool of me like this. Okay, so I'll give you $10. $10 is enough, right? My name is Jake, a 35-year-old office worker. I met my wife Alice 2 years ago. At the time, I hadn't had a girlfriend for a while. I threw myself into work as if I was trying to escape. My early 30s were ending in just a blink of an eye. Worried about me, a friend of mine introduced me to a younger member of his university club. That was Alice. Alice was 2 years younger than me, but I felt as if we were the same age. She was mature and calm. We started out as friends. Sometimes we went out for dinner and some drinks. Gradually, we became attracted to each other, so we started dating, and we continued to have a pretty good relationship. I eventually proposed to her and we got married. I didn't expect things to go so smoothly. I thought it would be nice to have a girlfriend. I never thought that I would end up getting married. You never know what life has in store for you. After that, we greeted each other's parents, and we had a wedding ceremony. And in the blink of an eye, we became husband and wife, and we started our new life together. Our newlywed life was very enjoyable. I was happy just to sleep in the same bed with my wife, whom I love, and to wake up in the morning next to her. But not everything was perfect. My wife could not do housework at all, so I had to do the cleaning, laundry, and cooking. Since I also worked, I had to rush to the supermarket after work to buy groceries. I was tired, but I cooked. But my wife was happy to eat the food I cooked. It's fried chicken today? It's my favorite food. Thank you. My wife was always grateful. When she would react so happily, even though I was tired, it made me want to try my best for her. I also had a strong helper. It was my mother. She lived near my house. She cleaned the house for me on weekdays. Thank you, Mom. It's okay. Since your father passed away, I've been so bored alone and have nothing to do. I have some leftovers. Why don't you have them for dinner? Thank you. I really appreciate it. That's how my mother helped me with the housework. Thanks to her, I was able to relax a little more. Thanks to that, I am able to work as hard as ever. I was able to balance my home and work life pretty well. Our house was always clean and we had a delicious dinner. My wife seemed to be very satisfied. My mother is a great person. Even though it took me a while to get married and that worried her, she has always let me do whatever I wanted. Even after we got married, she still supports me. I really can't thank her enough. And I was able to get a promotion in my company. It is no exaggeration to say that it was thanks to my mother's support. Thanks for everything, Mom. Thanks to you, I got promoted. When I said that, it's because of your hard work. She smiled and said, shall we celebrate? Yes, I'll tell Alice. After, I called my mother and told her about the promotion. When my wife came home from work, I told her I had been promoted. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm going to be promoted to manager. Oh, really? Congratulations. My wife looked very surprised, but she congratulated me on my promotion. So, I'd like to celebrate with you and my mother sometimes. Yes, that's fine. We can go to any restaurant you want. Thanks to you, I'm looking forward to it. I was excited and chose a restaurant to celebrate my promotion. A few days later, on a weekend, we were on our way to the restaurant when my wife suddenly couldn't make it. There's a sudden business trip I have to go on starting Friday, so you and your mother will have to go alone. Yeah, okay. I thought to myself, I went to the trouble of making reservations at a fancy sushi restaurant, but if it's work, it can't be helped. I went to celebrate my promotion with my mother. Mom, we came to celebrate my promotion, but it's also thanks to you, so eat whatever you like and drink as much alcohol as you like. Oh, are you sure? Yes, let me show my appreciation. I'll take your word for it then. So we enjoyed the fancy sushi, and we had a great time as mother and son. I couldn't really thank my dad, who passed away before I could do much for him, but I had a lot of appreciation for my mother. I wanted to give my mother all kinds of things. So when I got a promotion and could afford to buy more things, I decided to do whatever my mother wanted to do. Mom, you said there was a hot spring resort you wanted to go to. Let's go there sometime. No, you don't have to waste your time with me. Go there with Alice. No. This is just for you, Mom. You and I can go together, or you can invite Alice and the three of us can go. I can't refuse, can I? That's right. In that case, then why don't the three of us go together? I'll ask Alice about it when she's free. I was excited to talk about the hot springs trip and asked my wife about her plans. Then my wife gave me a stern look. A trip to the hot springs with your mother? I'm the one who has to go with her. What? I don't mind going out to eat with her, but a trip would take too much time. Huh? What's wrong with you? This isn't something new. It's not like I'm on good terms with your mother. That's not true. At least my mother likes you. I don't know, but I think I'll pass on the hot spring trip. But that's... You two have fun. I'll stay at home. I was puzzled by my wife's complete lack of interest. My wife had never behaved like this before. What on earth was wrong with her? After all, she had forced me to end the conversation there. I couldn't talk about the trip any further. Alice said something like that? My mother was a little depressed about my wife's reluctance. It's true that lately, when I go to your house or when we see each other, she seems down. Really? I always thought she liked you. Maybe I've been at your house a little too much. No. You're just helping me with the housework. It's Alice's fault for not helping out at all. Let's just go on the trip together, just the two of us. She should experience the hardship of having no one to do the housework for her. I wanted to punish my wife a little. Besides, I wanted to give my mother the appreciation she deserved. I wanted to take her on a trip. I'll see you later. Oh, have a good trip. My mother answered my words bluntly. She did not look at me at all. Ever since then, things had been a little awkward between my wife and me. I didn't like the way she was talking, saying that she didn't get along well with my mother. After that, I went to my mother's house. Then we drove to a hot spring together. The inn was very beautiful, and the service was very pleasant. The open-air bath was refreshing, and the food was very delicious. I've never had such good food. It's really delicious. My mother and I were smitten and kept saying, delicious, delicious, as we enjoyed the food. And after a few drinks, we were in a very good mood. We fell asleep comfortably on the sofa beds. The next day, we went sightseeing in the area and headed home. As we were getting in the car, my mother looked deeply moved and said, Jake, thank you so much, she said warmly. What are you talking about? I'm going to make many more of your dreams come true. Is that right? I look forward to it. My mother seemed to have learned to be more honest about her desires. She started to tell me what she wanted to eat and where she wanted to go. I took her out for dinner not every week, but regularly. I regularly took her to restaurants she wanted to go to. I think I have gone out to eat with my mother more than anyone else in my life. Well, given the fact that she is now single, I thought it would be better to take care of my mom while I could after my father's death. However, my wife did not understand why I would want to do so much for my mother. Are you going out to eat with your mother again? Does it matter? I always cook you dinner. Besides, I keep inviting you too. You're the one who's refusing. Is that my fault? You're such a high and mighty person, aren't you, boss? Are you acting so overbearing towards your own subordinates as well? Hey, what's with that tone? Why are you talking to me like you want to fight all the time? I'm not. Just go have dinner with your mother. My wife said this and went to her room. I felt the distance between my wife and me growing wider and wider. I could not understand why she had become so cold. When I was spending time with my mother, I told my wife that she should visit her parents' house, but my wife never wanted to go back to her parents' house. My wife's parents' house is not far from our house. She should go there whenever she wanted and have dinner. She never bothered to make time to spend with her parents. I wondered why she would pester me about spending time with my mother. However, I didn't think it'd be good if my wife and I kept quarreling, so I decided to have a talk with my wife. What are you angry about these days? I'm not mad at you. Then why do you sarcastically criticize me when I go out with my mother or have dinner with her? I'm not being sarcastic. It sounds like you're being sarcastic to me. Why don't you have dinner at your mother's? What? Are you the one being sarcastic? I'm paid less than you, so I can't take her to expensive restaurants like you do. Wait a minute. Are you upset that I got a promotion and I'm getting paid more than you? Shut up. Don't be so straightforward. Don't make fun of me like that. No. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just asking. You piss me off. Stop bragging about your pay like that. My wife got angry and went to her room. I was surprised that she was so concerned about the difference in income. She's surprisingly proud. She was like that when we were students. I thought she'd grown up and gotten over it. When I talked to my friend, the one who introduced me to my wife, the friend explained, It seems that my wife was the type of person who needed to be pampered, admired, the center of attention. Maybe she's not doing well at work. When I said that, my friend said, Oh, by the way, a friend of mine works with her. I'll ask him how it's going, he said. Thank you, that helps. Even if I asked her directly, she would never tell me, so I was grateful to be able to learn to have someone on the inside. But then something unexpected happened. My mother suddenly collapsed and had to be hospitalized. I was quite upset because of this, but now that my father is gone, I had to be the strong one. I managed to keep it together and visit my mother in the hospital every day. I'm sorry, Jake. I didn't mean to bother you. No, you're not bothering me. You better get better soon. Yeah. I was very happy that I was able to take my mother to various places before she collapsed. But day by day, my mother's condition worsened. Despite her condition, my wife never came to visit her. I had no desire to see my wife's face after that, so I decided to stay at my mother's house for a while. After about a month, my mother's illness worsened, and she never returned home. I was grief-stricken. Fortunately, I was able to be by her side when she passed. I was able to have a last conversation with her, which was a good thing, and I proceeded to arrange and prepare for the funeral by myself. Of course, my wife did not help me at all. After all, she never came to visit my mother at all. I managed to finish the funeral arrangements by myself. I thought I should tell my wife the date and time of the funeral. I went to the house where my wife and I had been living for a while. What's the matter? It's been a long time since you've been here. My mother passed away. Her funeral is tomorrow, and I would appreciate it if you came. When I said this, my wife made a surprising remark. But I have a business trip, so I can't go. What? What are you talking about? You're my wife. You should go to my mother's funeral. It didn't matter what she felt or thought about my mother. That was ridiculous. As my wife, she should at least show up, but my wife stubbornly refused to attend my mother's funeral. What a pain in the... I'll give her a gift, okay? Gift? Yes, that's right. It's my way of expressing my thanks to your mother. Saying that, my wife opened her purse. How about $10? I only have a $10 bill. She smacked the $10 bill on the table. I couldn't believe my wife would make such a fool out of me. Alright, so I'll give you $10. I'll give you $10? I cursed her in my head. My mother's funeral finished without incident. Many people attended. My mother was really a wonderful person who was popular with many people. I organized her belongings and my personal belongings. I visited my wife again when I found the time. Are you finally home? I've tolerated you staying away for so long because of your mom and the funeral, but from now on, you'd better do your chores properly, said my wife, who had no idea what I was doing there, in a carefree manner. So I silently thrust a certain piece of paper at her. My wife looked at the paper with a quizzical look on her face, but then her face quickly turned to surprise. What's this? Divorce papers? What do you mean? As you can see, I'm divorcing you. Why? Because I'm sick of you. You didn't care about my mother. You were backstabbing me. I can't stay married to a cheater. Cheating? My wife looked shocked. What are you talking about? She said, trying to act innocent. There's no use hiding it. You're having an affair with a younger colleague from work. I have pictures to prove it. I showed her the pictures I had gotten from the detective agency. My wife's face turned pale. I'll divorce you and make you pay alimony. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just got caught up in the moment. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. No, I won't forgive you. Did you think I would forgive you by saying that? I know you were having an affair for more than 6 months. When I questioned him, he confessed. You're lying, aren't you? Why would he be honest about that? I told him I wouldn't tell the company. In return, he cooperated with me. I don't think so. Are you absolutely sure about the divorce? Yes, I am. When I said that, my wife seemed to have made up her mind. I understand, but I'll get my share of the property. She's asking for property even though she committed adultery. That's just fair, right? It's my share. The wife demands her share of the property, as if it were her own money. That's right. Then, is this your share of the property? Saying that, I put the $10 bill on the table. What? Are you kidding me? There's no way a $10 bill will be enough. Who gave me that $10 as a gift? When I said that, my wife choked up and said, about that. I was sorry about that. I wasn't thinking straight. But the property division is different, isn't it? It's my right to get my half. She apologized, but there's no way I would forgive her for that. Well, if you want it like that, I'll have to report the affair to your company. When I said that, my wife became extremely impatient. Wait a minute, you can't do that. I don't want you to do that. If you do that, my career will be completely ruined. My wife is a very proud woman. She is also extremely concerned about her appearance in the world, so this tactic is quite effective against her. Well then, let's settle the division of property as $10. Then I won't report to your company, and you can keep your job. That should be fine. My wife was troubled for a while, but then said, okay, and agreed to these terms. I made it official and left a written reminder. We finally divorced. I paid my wife $10 for her share of the property, and my wife and her lover paid me alimony. After that, I sold the house I inherited from my mother and moved into a smaller apartment. I didn't want to live near my ex-wife, and my mother also told me that I could sell my parents' house since it was only going to decrease in value over time. After that, I enjoyed the single life. Incidentally, people in my ex-wife's office found out about the affair, and she was transferred to a regional office with a pay cut. How did my ex-wife's workplace find out about the affair? I first became suspicious about my ex-wife's affair after being told by a friend of the friend who introduced us about it. My friend's friend worked at the same place as my ex-wife. It was a woman's institution. She suspected the relationship between my ex-wife and the adulterous partner. Then she saw them arm in arm. She thought it was a sure thing. I got this information from a friend of mine. I had a detective agency collect the evidence. I had my mother's viewing and funeral to attend, so I had to put off filing against my ex-wife until later, but I had already made the preparations. Naturally, I reported the situation to my friends. My friend's friend will also hear about it, but I didn't report directly to my ex-wife's company as I promised, and I didn't talk directly to anyone that worked there. My ex-wife went to my parents' house to question me about it, but since the land was already for sale, she was forced to go to the countryside just like that. Her lover got treated coldly by everyone around him and soon resigned voluntarily. Rumor has it that he followed my ex-wife. Now they are living a poor life together alone in the countryside and paying alimony every day. On the other hand, I can now spend all my income for myself. I have been spending my money to improve myself. I also bought a luxury car as a reward. I am enjoying driving it around. I am enjoying my work very much now. I'm going to concentrate on work and my hobbies without romance for a while. I didn't think that she was not only jealous of you, but she is the worst kind of scumbag wife. I think you are lucky that you got rid of such a woman. He was a department manager, so his income is quite high. It would make your life richer if you cut out the scum wife, wouldn't it? I hope you find a wonderful woman as you work hard to improve yourself. I wish you a happy life. Thank you for watching. How did you like today's story? Please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next story.